Gaming Today presents Cash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 7th. This is the first show of 2020 and the last day that we're saying Happy New Year. So Happy New Year to all of our listeners. Happy New Year to all the boys. Today we have a special show, but it's more of the same, but with different people. So we're going to welcome in the usual cast of characters. First, in studio, Alan Berg at %Berg. What's up, AB?
What's going on?
Nothing, man. At home today, under the weather, feeling a little bit sick. Actually, a lot sick.
Not the usual sick, though.
No,
completely different.
No, yeah, this is real sick. Mo Pearson at Heed These Takes. Mo, are you okay?
No, I'm never okay. That's just offhand. No, I'm all right. I mean, I haven't been feeling well for the last couple of days, but it's hard for me to not do this with you guys. So I had to be a part of it. So for right now, I feel really good because I'm a part of this cast. So
okay,
yeah, it should be good.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got Mo at about, what are you, about 70%?
Yeah, 70 sounds right.
Wow. I was going to say lower, and Reynolds already put his arm down lower.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, you're like 50%, but you're still a gamer, and you're going, and you're going to be here.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
100%.
We got Reynolds producing the show. I am Reynolds 2305 is his Twitter handle, and I am Dave Sherapan at Sportsbook Consigliere, SportsBK Consig on Twitter. Welcome to all the new followers, all the old followers. We got a couple reviews this week. I saw you posted that one. Thank you for those. This is the beginning of the show. Reminder to follow the show, share the show, rate the show, review the show at GT Cash Consider. And if you have any questions you want us to ask, any topics you want us to discuss, please do it with either DMs that way or interact however you want. Special guest today in studio. Before we get to him, we're going to do our usual. We're going to do the interview portion of the show. Then we're going to do some college football discussion, which the game will finally be here next Monday, for goodness sakes. It's been so long.
Taking years.
Yeah.
Years for that game to start.
And then we'll get to the NFL and the coaching hires, the possible landing spots for Brady, and anything else you guys want to talk about. So that's where we're going to go. But right now in studio, for the first time, and hopefully not the last, is Rich Zanco, who we affectionately call the Z-Man. And Mo, what are you calling him?
I'm calling him the Z-Lord.
Z-Lord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Z-Lord, that's going to be the move for me right here.
Well, he is here. Rich Zanco, a senior odds maker, risk analyst at CG. I work alongside this guy. He's got a lot to say, and it's about time we brought him to the people. Rich, good morning, sir.
What's going on, Davo? It's good to see you in another light besides at work, obviously.
Absolutely. So Rich and I and Alan go back to the CG days at the M. We've all been around the block a little bit. And Mo and Z-Man haven't met, but he is at Rich Zanco on Twitter. An absolute must follow, boys and girls. The GIF game is on point. The talk, there's just so much that we're going to get to here shortly. But as we start every interview, Z-Man, where are you from?
Believe it or not, I'm actually from Massachusetts, believe it or not. It's born and raised outside of Newton, Mass., which was right outside Commonwealth Avenue, next to Boston College, actually.
Okay. And then made your way from there to Florida, right?
Correct. I actually transitioned down there after high school, during high school, my last year, and proceeded to go to the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida.
Ooh, back-to-back champs.
Yes, I was there during the actual Culpeper days and everything that was going on down there when it was actually a small boutique type of college, and it's grown quite a bit in that area.
Okay. Did you partake in the football games and all that stuff?
Actually, the football was not a big thing there on campus. They actually utilized, I believe it was the Citrus Bowl outside of downtown Orlando before they actually had their own stadium. So it was something that some of the alumni were going and some of the campus people, but it was like not on campus, so to speak.
All right. How did you get to Vegas? There's always a story. Everybody gets, so you go from Boston to Florida to you come out here. How did you end up making the move to Las Vegas?
I was in and out of some investment type companies in Orlando and South Florida. I actually have a trading background, a finance background. I'm kind of a numbers guy. So the thrill of I actually came out here a lot visiting Las Vegas and coming out and partaking in all the degeneracy, the drinking, the sports betting, and all of that type of stuff. So
Mo's everyday life, pretty much, yeah. So this is like spring break trips, March Madness trips, the whole usual thing.
Yeah, coming out on the red eye and spending, the weekend out here and partaking in a lot of NFL season especially, just loving the action and being able to get down some big money on some of these games. So basically in Florida, it was just kind of like a standstill, like a lot of transition of people that move from like the East Coast, like where I'm from, New York, Jersey, down to South Florida and whatnot. And I was just like searching for something. Like I just felt like, you live once, you just got to kind of break out of that comfort zone and try something different, or you can just remain where you're at and be stagnant. So it was just one of those things on a whim where I just kind of figured, why not try the West Coast? Why not experience the laid back style of the West Coast and whatnot? So it was just kind of like, I didn't want to just stay in Florida and die and become old and become one of those people that stay there and they're eating at 4:00, in the afternoon every day.
Yep.
But I'm not knocking that, but I miss the ocean and the beaches down there and a lot of interesting stories and, living outside of the Miami area and whatnot was a lot of fun, but it was just something where I just needed to, just try something different and just move kind of.
And that was what year did you make that move?
It was in 2007.
Okay.
So, I graduated UCF in about the mid-'90s, like around 96.
Okay.
And like I said, I have a hedge fund investment background. I was partaking in the trading of stocks during the boom in the late 90s and into the early 2000s, even before the tech crash back then. So it was kind of one of those things where the money was good, but I just wasn't completely at peace with personal life, kind of. I just was looking for something a little bit more than that. So came out here in 2007, so been out here since.
You pick up, you get in the car. The same car that you got now, right?
Oh yeah,
the Z.
Oh, without question. I mean, as you can tell by
the car,
it's actually a mid 1990s, and Berg's getting a chuckle out of this. By the way, it's the same car. I haven't seen him in probably like 7 or 8 years, but it's the actual same car, and you can tell by the gifs. The Eyes Wide Shut, the Basic Instinct, the Bananarama songs, and Tears for Fears that. I'm just one of those guys that just can't let go. I mean, I do have the iPhone now, by the way, but I just hold on to the past. I
think it's an iPhone, like no number, just an iPhone.
Yeah, it's an iPhone 0, I think, actually. It's either an iPhone 0 or a 5S, I believe, but it's not like a 10 or 11. So I am up to speed on that, but just one of those guys. I just don't embrace the technology of what's going on and kind of I just think the music and the movies and even, huge 49er fan back in the day, actually, even being from Boston with Montana and John Taylor and Jerry Rice and all of those guys, you just see those personalities and characters and some of the things that are going on with our movies and music and sports now. I just kind of lose. I'm just an old soul. I just think I lose touch to what's going on. So.
No, and that's the beauty of a lot of the stuff you tweet. Like, we get it,
Right?
Because we're all around the same age bracket. But the young guys, do they get it? AB?
No. But I got to hear this because we went there. But I got to hear the Jimmy G take real quick. Like, what do you think of this guy?
Before I interject there, actually, Bergman, I actually spoke
He's taking over the show, this guy.
I don't want to do that, but I actually spoke to somebody in their 20s, and I actually asked him that question. Do you get what I'm at? And he's like, just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm just laughing it up. So the guy was in his mid-20s and actually got a lot of the stuff, even though some of it's kind of out there, but he loves it. He's just saying he's just laughing his ass off. So, I mean, maybe.
Bring Mo in here. Mo, do you get it? I mean, you follow along all this on Twitter. The Twitter banter back and forth between, a lot of the new audience listeners and us and each other and stuff. Sometimes it's actually alarmingly funny where you're somewhere and you'll shoot something across, or I'll laugh, or Mo just says something and I'm laughing, and my kids are like,
I think
are they tweeting again?
Go
ahead.
No, it was before I explain if I get it or not. I think it was the time when you announced the Ravens is the Ravinos and the Rams is the Raminos, and I was like, I've never respected a man so much in my life. I wasn't even joking. I make so many nicknames for teams. I was like, these are incredible. So that was when I was like, I need to meet this guy. Unfortunately, I'm not meeting you right, at this moment. But no, it's all hilarious, man. Like, as far as anything that I see, or if I get it or not, it's all fantastic. I mean, just for the Twitter place or the Twitter verse,
I just
guys like us.
Yeah, I just
we
think
we understand it offhand.
I just think you just need to have fun with it. So when I'm calling the Dolphins the Dolphinos or the Ramzinos or the Ravinos or whatever, or Leather Jacket Crowd, I just think it gets a response. And I think, I'm on Twitter now, and actually this crazy chick that I was, messing around with, I'll just keep it in the G-rated, in case some of these.
It's an R-rated show. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, girl I was banging back in the day.
There we go.
Taking her to town.
She actually said you need to get on Twitter. You're kind of closed off and reserved at times, but you make me laugh. You're funny or whatever. So I just figure like being on Twitter, it's a good outlet. And, obviously I don't have thousands of followers, but you just have to be either better than everyone or less than everyone or be different. And I'm just being different. I'm laughing at some of the stuff I put out there. I'm actually enjoying what I put out there because I laugh half the time. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have put that out there. How is it going to be maybe interpreted or whatever? But I'm just having fun with it. And it's like a little video game. I feel like I'm playing Tecmo Bowl or something back when there was a Nintendo back in the day. It was a great football game, but that's once again, it's 25 years removed or whatever. But just having fun with it, and I think you get it, Moto man. I mean, it's just something that you can kind of. It's like a little gadget, a little toy, and if you see something or you're out somewhere, you can take a picture or ran into that Patty Snaps guy over and send a picture to Davo because he's going to get that.
I mean, I think now like I'm kind of like preserved on where we're at now, like as far as people somewhat know us, quote unquote. But when I tweet stuff out, I don't care what people interpret. At this point, I'm just firing. So when I see your stuff, it's incredible because I'm like, yeah, this guy gets it. He understands. So, just to get back to the Rabino thing, I mean, this shit kills me every time. It's incredible.
Speaking of having fun, I mean, we met at the counter, working at the M. Was that your first foray?
Let's get the Bergman in here. I see he's got a little. He wants to. Berg's a big guy that likes to take control of the interview.
Berg's on fumes right now.
Oh, that's true.
He's on fumes.
You have no
He's just
idea.
listening, taking it all
we were at the counter at the M.
Was that your first foray into the sportsbook business? Or were you working at a different book before?
When I first got in town, I was with another competitor, property for a little while. And that's kind of how I met AB back in the day. We were with Billionaire Ted. inside joke there, but not exactly. But a competitor company in town, we'll leave it as such. And, that's how, and
We don't give a shit. You can say whoever it was.
right.
We don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah, we've named everyone and everything
Right.
for the most part.
Right. And I mean, I actually, great book and whatnot. And they do much to the dismay of, the sharp crowd out there. They do take some action from what I do gather and what I've heard and heard from people that do work there. So, it was a great time at the end. I mean, me and you were on the front line, and he was, Bergman was right in the middle there, kind of like,
It was a blast.
Star Trek Enterprise. He was like Captain Kirk, navigating the whole thing. But I think my favorite line was with you actually, and I'll let you talk in a minute. We were on
It's all about you. I don't have to say a fucking word. Go.
No, we were on the front line one time, and I think some idiot guy came up there and was talking for like 5 or 10 minutes and just talking his ass off about some bad beat he had or something. And I looked over at you, and I think you just had a look of disgust on your face, like, I can't believe this guy was up here for 5 or 10 minutes. And I look over at you, and I go, that closes the book on Kellner, thank God, from Major League. And you just started laughing your fucking ass off when I said that. And I was laughing hysterically. But it was just the first thing that came to my mind, when Euchre says that in the movie. And once again, it's from the 90s, so maybe none of is it the 90s or 80s, that movie?
It was late 80s, I think.
Major League.
Major League 89.
Yeah, one of my favorite sports movies. So.
Yep. No, and we used to do that shit all the time, where we would try to make each other laugh. The person at the counter had no idea what we were talking about. And that's kind of,
of that,
was just
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And because there was a lot of that. We had to listen all the time. And we had every Vegas character come through at that time. I mean, like, there was a lot of action, a lot of people, and it was a lot of, it was a lot of fun.
Staying with Major League, the hardest I ever made this man laugh is when I told him that I was like, one of these days I'm going to a Halloween party and I'm getting the full White Sox Jack Parkman outfit with the batting helmet and everything.
Yeah, I think I was laughing hysterically,
Yeah.
probably for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It might have
yeah.
been longer, actually. But I said that's a great
he was just
a
loving
great
it.
Halloween costume. And we actually have a guy that works with us right now, Davo, where I always say, like, you got to get the golf clubs out, the sweater, the white sweater, and you just come out of his, what kind of car does he have? A Beamer or a Jeep? Or he's got like 5 cars
four,
or
yeah.
whatever.
All
He
kinds
works
of
with me. Because I always say, that's Dorn there. He's only high priced, and he works with us. And if he was sitting here right now, he would get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
hope.
so funny because he does it. He's sitting right there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and it's just great. Like, I just laugh all the time. But
Oh, man.
Um,
I used to laugh so much working with this guy.
yeah,
It's just
that's
hilarious.
what it's about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can only sit there and watch the ticker so long and see the bets and move a number. I mean, there's a lot of downtime, and more so now that football is the weekend deal. I mean, it's a lot of downtime.
We were so fortunate at that place to have so many like great personalities, just
Yeah.
so many unique, different people. But like the vibe was always like just humorous, and it was like you go in a lot of the books, and it's like I don't get that vibe from hardly anywhere. And
Ooh.
our book was like we had like 85% of the people in there would like get every joke, like would just be on it, and then just follow it up with their own like banger, and then we're just all like cracking up laughing.
Yep.
It was such a great group, man.
So your best sport, as far as either handicapping or watching. I mean, like, I work with this guy. I keep an eye on the golf, but I don't really look at it because he's got it. Would you say golf is your best sport to handicap / watch, make odds for, or do you have something, other that I know you love the NFL and the storylines there?
I love the storylines of the NFL, but once again, like the Texans-Bills game, which I was on the Bills and gave them out. I thought it was the right side still. It's really
Oh, it was. You just
a
lost.
horrendous
Yes.
watch when it's 4th and 27. You don't punt. You don't try a field goal. And then you got this 2-man rush, and you just run back 30 yards and take a sack. It's almost like the other team is trying to not cover the game or something. It's a really tough watch, watching some of this stuff. But to answer your question, I enjoy the golf. And the reason I enjoy the golf is I actually used to be a caddy at a golf course in Massachusetts called Woodland Golf Course. And I did that for like 10 years as a kid. So, I mean, I'm not from money originally. And it really was a job where you just learned how to kind of pay your dues. I mean, you're around people that do have money, but, you know, I challenge anyone to carry 2 golf bags or even 1 golf bag for 5 hours in the heat during the summer and walk around.
Up and down hills.
Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely. So, and when you're doing it as a young kid, I mean, it actually, it gives you a sense of like hard work, and you're in an environment though where it's really, you know, just. Go ahead.
I was just at a golf tournament with Jeff Davis, walking around, and I was gonna die carrying nothing. I was carrying 0.
Right.
So yeah, no, I mean. From what you're saying, I can understand
it's
that,
hard to carry Davis's keg, you know, when he's having drinking from it. He brings one to the course with him, I hear. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a tough walk. I mean, yeah, I mean, I was out there at the Shriners. I think it was 2 years ago, and I mean, I'd like to consider myself still in fairly decent shape, but you walk that golf course, I mean. You're done at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just, you know, ready to get your pour on and let's go, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, to answer your question or go back to that, Davo, yeah, I enjoy the golf. And the reason I enjoy the golf is you get 4 days of action with it, whether you're in a matchup for a tournament or a win market bet. So I do enjoy that. I enjoy a lot of the personalities and the characters and the storylines that are being built with the PGA. Unlike the NFL, where it seems like the guys like Brady and Manning are always a part of it, not so much this year. They're always part of the storyline. The PGA actually did a great and phenomenal job of moving on from Tiger, even though now he's back in the mix, of developing guys like Jordan Spieth and Jason Day and some of these young guys, which makes it a great watch. I mean, you got a lot of young and up-and-coming talent, and now even established guys. I would consider Spieth now more, you know, in the prime. You know, he's
right.
not a kid anymore, and has won, you know, multiple majors. And you have some of these Euros and, you know, guys like Adam Scott who can't even putt but looks phenomenal on the golf course. He's got the look, you know. He's Shawn Michaels. He's a sexy boy out there, you know. I mean, you know. So you know,
that's great.
Yeah. So
Reynolds especially appreciated that.
Oh yeah. There's the wrestling references can never be enough. If you have any more, just drop them into the show, weave them in
right.
and out, you know, and you will definitely get big points.
And the one thing I enjoy about professional wrestling is they actually admit to you that it's choreographed. It's not real. It's staged.
Right.
There's storylines. So they're actually honest about it. Unlike
other stuff.
About other stuff. So
Right.
I mean, and I don't even want to get into politics, but I mean,
right.
But our head guy, I mean, he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, that's who's running the show, good or bad. And the only time I don't want to talk politics really, but the only time I actually voted was in '92, and I actually voted for Ross Perot.
There you go.
That explains a lot of the gifts and some of the stuff that's on my Twitter account, probably. And being from Florida as well, or living in Florida.
Oh man, Florida's its own place for sure. We got a lot of listeners in Florida, though. Keep listening to the show. Follow the show. Z-Man, before we get to the rest of the stuff, I got to ask you, and people really want to know, what the fuck is the leather jacket crowd? What is it?
I heard you on, what was it, the Costa show last night?
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
They asked me. They're like, what is the leather jacket crowd? We're going to talk to him tomorrow, and we're going to ask him. So here's your spot. Who is the leather jacket crowd? Is it the Sharps or the Squares?
It's basically just something I came up with. It's basically when a segment of the population, let's just say, they recognize, case in point, like, and I'll give examples of certain games this year where Tampa Bay went on the road in Seattle, and Seattle usually has a dominant home field advantage, and you get Jameis Winston coming in on the road in Seattle.
Line open 6.
Open 6. They take 6. They take 5.5. They take 5. It goes down to 4.5. So they're going against Seattle, quote unquote, the public team at home. This crowd of guys that just want to fade the public. They did the same thing in the Cowboy game with the Rams. Made no sense. The Cowboys got blown out. The public team at home. They see the line. Oh, the Rams. They want to take the worst of it. They want to take 4.5, 5 with Tampa on the road at Seattle. They want to lay into bad numbers with 1 or 2 with the Ramzinos at the Cowboys, who looked horrendous.
It's funny every time he says
right. Or your
It's a
team,
classic.
your team week 1, the Steelers. The Patriots own that team every single effing year.
Yep.
And they take 6 with the Steelers on Sunday night. You know Brady coming off the Super Bowl. He's hungry. He's on the prime stage. He doesn't want to get embarrassed. Giant ego. And they take the Steelers. They take 6, 5.5, 5, thinking this time it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So it's basically when I don't consider them sharps. They're just taking the worst of the situation, recognizing, oh, the public's on New England. Oh, the public's going to be on Dallas. They're going to take Seattle at home in that stadium. And they want Winston. They want, the Rams laying points on the road. They want the Steelers that never win the game, let alone usually get blown out. Or it's been that way since 2001 or 3 or as long as Brady's been there. So, or they take the Chargers last year, at New England with Anthony Lynn and Rivers, the journeyman. And I'm a huge Phillip Rivers mark, by the way. I think is incredible. The dance, the barking out, the clapping, the foot pedal. You've seen the foot pedal?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's the 90-yard touchdown, just screaming at the guy. I'm a huge Phillip Rivers guy. Mark, not necessarily a Charger guy, but always enjoy watching Charger games. And hope he stays, by the way. But, last year in the playoffs, the Sharps took 5, 4.5, 4. And, our main guy, Tony's like, oh, the Chargers have to be the right side. And you're looking at him like, yeah. So I think that kind of explains it, right? A little bit.
I think so. It's the late to the party crowd a lot of times.
Right.
It's the common speak
right.
thing.
And these guys want to come into the book. They're wearing a leather jacket. It's just, that's the gimmick. They want to come in hoping this ticket cashes, so when they cash their $10,000 ticket, because they're not betting $20 or $50 or $100, they're betting big.
5 dimes.
They're betting, they got the 5-dime pack, and they're reloading. They took 6, they're taking 5, they're taking 4.5 and laying 15 at post, and they come in right at post half the time.
Right.
They come in
Their reloading is great.
right.
Do you ever
Their
go?
reloading is incredible.
Do you ever go, man, I wish Berg was here so I could be like, look at this Alex Wright character coming in with the jacket on. It's about to job out.
Yeah, I mean, I wish you were there, Berg, man. I mean, you really increased the morale in the room and all the things that go on over at our training base over there.
We've talked about that in the specialness of the job is us, keeping each other entertained through a lot of it. And I don't know where it's all going to go. I would venture to say that there are risk rooms in Malta or wherever they're at. They ain't having as much fun as we did. There ain't no way they're having as much fun as we did. So let's keep that in mind. At some point, hopefully we can. I mean, this is a great venue for us as far as keeping it together and keeping it fun. But, if there's another meeting of all of that, I'm open to it. I know you guys are as well. So, because there's going to be a lot of changes. It's a new year, and 2020 is going to change a lot of things. I'll leave it at that, and we'll go from there. So there you have it, boys and girls. That's the interview portion of the show with Rich Zanco, at Rich Zanco on Twitter. Good job, sir. Now he's here for the rest of the show, right? I mean, you're not going nowhere.
Yeah, I think our guy Dorn over at the headquarters. I think Dorn's got it.
Dorn's got it on a Tuesday.
I mean, even though it doesn't really say it in his contract, I think he has it though.
Is he stretching it first right now, waving him off?
No, he's taking some shots down the third base line off his face. Even though he keeps saying, "I don't want to deface this property."
He's bitching about it too the whole time.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're listening, Lip. I hope you find a way to get to the show. I mean, we'll have to show you how to do it, but that's fine too. All right, so before we get to the next stuff, which we'll all take a minute in the middle here, we'll do that. And I just want to remind everyone about the Digital Gaming Today subscription, the holiday special. Up until the Super Bowl is $5 a month. You get award-winning content, analysis, stats, picks, casino industry news, and more. A Dawn Best feed with real-time lines and scores from 6 Vegas sportsbooks. Links to casino deals and sportsbook app signups. You even get the Gaming Today in digital form. Go to gamingtoday.com/register. Sign up for that. Thank you to those who have. If you haven't, there's an email as well, which we'll get to in the next read, but it's support@gamingtoday.com. All right. Mo, are you okay?
What's up?
Can you
I'm trying
can
to
you give us
survive
like 30
living.
seconds to a minute of anything right now? What do you got? You got anything?
Oh, man. Is he timing me? Is Reynolds timing me right now?
We are getting ready to start in 3, 2, 1.
I would just like to say, first and foremost, that never get sick. Sick fucking sucks. For anyone that's listening, don't get sick. I don't know how you can prevent such. I feel like it just happens here and there. But being sick is not the business. That shit is not cool. Also, a buddy of mine just opened up a new barbershop. He's been my barber for, I think, 3 or 4 years now. I would have a better memory if I wasn't feeling like this. But he just opened up a new barbershop on Boulder Highway in Russell. And I told him I was going to shout him out in this segment. So I don't know if I'm trying to push business his way. I think I'm just more proud that he did such, and he told me he was going to do it. It's like him and his brother. It's veteran owned. It's pretty cool. And I think that's all I have for right now.
That's fantastic. What is the name of the barbershop?
It's called Rain Barbershop. REIGN.
Okay. REIGS.
Yeah, I can't tell if what it really means. But it sounds cool. So I was like, all right, I dig that. And the business cards are dope. So I was like, all right, this is fine. Everything's okay.
That's perfect. That's the theme of Z-Man's Twitter account. You don't always know what it is, but it's there. So whether it's razor sharp or
people should know Z-Man knows.
I've been waiting to talk about having a barbershop as a sponsor. You can be razor sharp or you can fade, high fades. There's all kind of things you can do we talk about in the business with a barbershop. So Ray's Barbershop, that's Mo's place. Mo always has a fresh cut. So he's doing a good job.
Oh, yeah, this is big.
AB, would you like to take a minute today?
I got nothing.
There it is. Easy, simple. For the guys over in the dungeon, that was as long. That lasted as long as Errol's ticket on the Patriots.
Ooh, man, he's gonna hurt.
He is gonna hurt.
On that one.
I know. I really wanted that one to get there to bring Errol in with us.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I took the fucking Patriots down because I put him in the bankroll manager. I took him down along with everyone else.
First guy to cross it. Minus dime threshold.
Absolutely.
Resets to 0.
I'm taking everybody
Punishment coming.
down. I'm taking them all down with me. Patriots first. Can't wait to see who it is this week, motherfuckers. We're taking them down. All right, so that was AB's 1 minute segment. I got nothing. We might have to make that a new segment. That's pretty good.
Be short.
Z-Man, would you like a minute of the platform is yours? Whatever you'd like to say. You can project, go, whatever you'd like. Leaning forward, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. No pressure, go.
No pressure at all, I guess, for this 1 minute segment. I'll just say that the leather jacket crowd can continue next year and let me bet into the Steam or whatever at premium and exquisite numbers against them. So I hope they're, licking their wounds after this year.
There you go. Quick and easy. 25 seconds. Excellent work, sir. Okay. I don't know where HB is, but I'm going to go take my minute right now. And if he joins the show, maybe we'll let him do it. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Probably not. Reynolds.
Is HB there? Is he
no,
there?
He's not. He's not yet. So it's just right now. It's just us.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. My take a minute segment is I don't normally watch award shows. I really don't. But I caught Ricky Gervais's monologue, and I got to tell you, that was some funny shit. And just that alone, what he said, but two, how he said it. And his I don't give a fuck attitude. It's my last year, and I don't care. it was refreshing. It was honest. It was raw. And it was great. I try to live my life every day like that, for better or for worse. And I admire people that do that. And I mean, he's got multi-millions, and he doesn't need to do anything, so he can say whatever he wants. We've been in that position probably many times. You guys all have, listening to the show. You've been in positions where you want to say something and you can't. Sometimes, you know what? Say fuck it and just say what you want and say what you feel. Things end up working out. That's the way we run this show, and that's why we appreciate you guys listening. Keep it up. Keep following the show. That's it. All right. While we got Mo awake, let's transition to, let's just talk about this college football game and get it the fuck over with. Enough already. Bowl season has come to an end. There's one bowl game left. The last game.
Red Hawks got there, by the way, last night.
The Red Hawks did get there.
Never in doubt. That shit was never in doubt, ever.
Overall, in the Bowls, hat tip to Joe Rogers, big friend of the show, writer for Bet Chicago, talks to all of us, does great work, articles, different things. He posted this. In the bowl games, favorites went 20, 19, and 1. The totals over was 20, 19, and 1. Nobody knows shit. That is unbelievable. 20, 19, and 1, Mo. How was bowl season for you?
My God. There was like a slight miracle of winning in the middle of the abyss that was the college bowl season. Just probably the last 5 games were hard to watch in my account. My actual account with money in it. It's very rough, man, to see. But it could have been worse, but I think I picked there were some spots where I didn't play, which I could have played. It's the same old thing, but it was kind of bad.
Do you have
Pretty bad.
Do you have the ATS bowl record of the leather jacket crowd over there as well?
God damn, I wish I did. I mean, we've seen it, right? The steam.
The Z-Man should have brought that in.
Yeah, the steam has been
wrong.
It just seems like every game. It just, more or less. I only played a couple games, and I know Oregon was one of them, and I was on the complete wrong side of that game.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, I mean, I'm not really a huge college football guy.
Right.
I do follow it and watch it, but as far as betting, I'm very selective as far as venturing into something that, I'm not really,
well versed in.
Yeah,
or just interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike Mo, who's in action and interested in everything. Right, Mo?
Well, I don't think I could have fell into a winner. Even if I picked and chose, however it may have been, it did not go as well as I thought it was going to get. I had to back up and reflect. You know what I mean? I don't do that often, but I had to at some point during this college bowl season.
You actually talked about reflecting before the new year in the last show, as that was one of your Take a Minute segments and your decision making and things like that. For those of you that haven't listened to the past episodes, take some time, go back. We appreciate that you are. We see that you are. Continue to do so. Let's look forward. It's Clemson, LSU. It's 5.5. It's been 5.5 for what feels like a goddamn eternity, but maybe a week. I know every time we bounce to 6, one of our resident sharp guys grabs Instabet 6. Mo, who do you like in the game?
Oh, man. I feel like I've explained this to, I guess a couple people from work, some friends, but I don't know. It's almost hard for me to believe that Clemson, a team that's been getting to this point over and over for the past few years, could be getting points against any team. Obviously they've gotten better. It's almost an identical situation where they almost lose last year to Syracuse, win every other game by 20, and then play Bama and beat them by 30 points in the championship. But I think the only thing that can only get me off of liking Clemson, no matter what, how good of a number I can get, is not betting against Joe Burrow. The guy seems like he's on a mission, regardless of how healthy their defense has gotten for the past few games. They're just pretty solid as a unit. I wouldn't let the Oklahoma game get too much into your into anyone's listening into their mind, just to go out and play them blindly. But a guy like Burrow, I mean, if he's not dead, it'd be hard to bet against him right now. So with my gut, I would still say I like Clemson if I can get the right number, but I would almost have to pass because it just seems like if you bet against Joe Burrow, you're asking for trouble.
How about the total? The total 69.5. Pretty much 70, a couple 70s floating around. Lean on the total. I think the game's over. I see offense. It'll probably be 21-17. But I'm saying over. I feel like the game's going to go back and forth. I don't think LSU is going to be able to stop Clemson. I think it's going to come down to Clemson's defense is better, and they're probably going to win the game. That's the way I'm leaning right now. I would take the points as well, but I like the over. I think both teams get into the 30s, 35-31. That's not over 69, though. We've got to get 40. Somebody got to get goddamn 40. That's a lot of points. Wow.
Yeah,
Just talk that out now in my head. I'm like, wow. 35-31 still doesn't get there. Shit.
I'm immediately thinking Clemson's going to be trailing by at least like 14 points at some point or early in this game. I think LSU's going to get out on them. For me, it's going to be hard to think that Clemson can't come back, at any point. So, if it's a trailing position where, people are going to get fucked on the over if Clemson comes back and the spread has something to do with it. I feel like that's the kind of range I would think this type of game would be in.
Okay. Any plans for Monday night if you're feeling better? You working? We should have a get-together maybe and watch the game. If that's possible.
I feel like I owe you for falling asleep during that Niners Seahawks.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in the NFL segment. That's okay. That's all right. I mean, you got to take care of you. Everybody's out there, and there's a lot of people that are sick. I mean, just hearing about it, everybody's got to take care of themselves and make sure you're okay. So, but if we get together, I've been actually, some people have tweeted us, you guys getting together to watch a game, you guys getting together. We're going to do that at some point.
Just wait one more Sunday. That's all you got to do.
Right.
That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Seahawks Niners is coming. Just wait.
Oh, we're gonna have to all ask the fucking day off. Where are you guys at? We're all watching the game. And ideally, if anyone knows anyone,
everybody
on location, right? We could make that happen on location.
I love that. Where you guys at? We're all watching the game. Everyone. Everyone's watching Niners Seahawks. No more questions after that.
Any lean for the championship game?
I actually lean the favored LSU just based on what I'm looking at. Will I be on the game or bet the game? I mean, potentially, but like I said, college football, I'm more selective as far as money management, which I think is huge if you're a bettor out there, knowing what you're good at and what you follow and those type of things. But I actually think the storyline with LSU is there, the coach, the quarterback, the speech he gave and certain abstract things that I look at that would make me believe that LSU is the right side of this football game.
Absolutely. That all makes sense as well.
Z-Man angles.
That's it.
Love it.
You got anything?
No, I got nothing.
Nothing? Stick with that. It's working.
Yeah.
One
of my best qualities.
Oh, yeah. Alan said Georgia was going to smoke Baylor. I don't think we brought that up, but he was definitely right about that.
Is that my first college football play of the year?
I think maybe 1.5. I think you leaned something at one point, like week 3.
I believe that was right after you said you liked Baylor. And he said Georgia's going to smoke them.
Correct, yeah.
It was
I gave a long, like 4-minute rant about Baylor, and then he was like, Georgia's going to smoke. It's going to be, wasn't it?
That was Dave always bringing up old shit.
Mo brought up the Georgia game. It had nothing to do
He was trying to give me credit, and then you brought the shovel out on him.
It's very true. It's a very true statement.
Who knew Rule was going? Obviously, the kids at Baylor knew Rule was out the door. They didn't play. That was
damn. Nobody.
How did that game stay under? By the way. I mean.
Yeah, what's up with that? Yeah, Jesus Christ. Fucking second half. It was the worst second half I've ever seen.
Oh God.
Holy shit.
All right.
Oh my God.
Let's jump to the NFL. Before we do, just want to remind everybody, we talk about the Gaming Today digital subscription, yet we should also mention how it all got started. The Vintage Gaming Today print edition can be found in virtually every sportsbook in Nevada, as well as sportsbooks and casinos in 9 other states. You get award-winning content, analysis, stats, selections, gaming industry news, casino news, and more. From Oregon to Pennsylvania, it's Gaming Today in vintage print form. If your favorite book doesn't carry it, ask management to contact support@gamingtoday.com. All right, boys, it's that time. We got to talk NFL. We got to talk wild card weekend really quickly. I am on the clock. Let's summarize the games best we can. Buffalo, Houston. Houston wins 22-19 in overtime. My notes for this game is, and you tweeted it, Deshaun Watson, merch, everything that's great about him was on that play.
Keeping shitty coaches employed for multiple years.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And the flex to the sideline, I get goosebumps just saying it, talking about it. I was in the room, and I was like, that's the dude right there. Like that, I was like, all right, you got to believe right there.
He'd have a Super Bowl ring if he was in Chicago right now.
Oh, man. Another fuck up by the Bears.
Next to the quarterback going back 30 yards for the Bills and taking a sack. My second absolute favorite play in that game was when Watson was back to pass, and the two Bills guys come in and tackle each other.
Don't get Watson.
And, I mean, they made Watson appear like he was like 300 pounds and jacked, like they couldn't tackle him.
Right.
I mean, he's not that big of a guy. I mean, he's definitely elusive, but, I mean, once again, nobody circles their wagons, I guess, right?
Right, except that day. The Buffalo was up 16-0 in the third quarter. J.J. Watt made this sack, and everybody went nuts. Houston wins the game. And the best play for me was when the ref alligator armed the kick, and he just literally backed up, put his arms up, let the ball fall, and then called it a touchdown for Buffalo.
It started the most wild second half ever.
And
I can remember.
And someone said common sense ruled for the referees.
Right.
One of the guys, I think it was Sterator, was in the box. No, I don't know which guy it was. It wasn't Blandino. Said common sense says that's a touchback. Wow. What a novel idea. Common sense. NFL officiating.
We're working that into the game now, right?
Yeah. And then it went away after fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah. My thing was, and I think the Z-Man will appreciate this, who were these guys in the black shirts that just appeared on the field out of nowhere? Have you guys ever seen these guys?
No idea.
They're like coming and running up to the ref, and I'm
no
like,
idea.
what is happening?
I mean, it looked like Bill Goldberg's security force for WCW back in the day or something.
What are they? You're right. I don't know.
Is
this
like,
a playoff thing?
That's what I said it had to be, right?
Had to be.
Because I'm like, never seen this.
Never
like,
once.
Like, they're just running out there like, hey, man, we
all
got
sick.
Buffalo. Calm down. What are you doing
You
to
said
us?
Skeletor was up in the press box. My favorite part with that guy is actually, if you're a Cowboy fan out there, was the index card game when he broke out the index card and then he started smiling in the camera. And then Jack Del Rio is going crazy on the sideline, like what? Waving his arms up. He took out an index card
To measure
the first down on that. What was it, like a Sunday night game? It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
It was one of his last games. And
he really went Hollywood on that one. I mean, he just...
Speaking of Del Rio, is he the president of the Leather Jacket Club?
He might be. I actually tweeted that out. I don't know if some Redskins fans took offense to that, but I just miss him being on the sideline. He's definitely a character. I mean, he's a personality. I think he went to USC. I mean, he had a storied, he had a good career.
Run with the Cowboys.
Yeah, sure.
So, Tennessee, New England. Tennessee wins 20-13. Henry has 182 yards rushing and a touchdown. Oh, the story for me was Vrabel taking back-to-back penalties. They figured out how to fucking take penalties so you can keep the ball, run the time off the clock before the 5 minutes mark. So you take a delay a game, and then you can't take back-to-back delay a game, so you tell a guy to jump false start.
You can take
two back-to-backs.
And then they went off sides to stop
that.
To stop the clock.
Yeah, and then they had somebody jump.
Yeah.
And do a false start.
This is shenanigans.
This is like what you do in the 12U league.
Yeah,
you're going to see Dino's coaches. Somebody's going to do this shit at one of his games.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, let the kids play.
Yeah.
Let the fucking kids play. Your guys are managing the clock, and you're going to have two guys, Belichick and Vrabel, disciples, coaching your kid doing that. Stupid, but
Was it me or not? I swear Vrabel had like a mustache in the first half, and then he came out in the second half, and he must have gone. I mean, did anyone see that, or is that just me?
I gotta go back.
I probably had too many
I
drinks
gotta
on me at
pull
that
up Game
point.
Pass and see.
And my thing with Brady and the Patriots, it's amazing how like we talked about Anthony Lynn in that spot last year with the Chargers, and they all came in on it. And now this year, virtually the same line, and shame on me. They actually really didn't come in as strong on that line as they did with the Charger game last year. And unbeknownst, I mean, it's like Belichick and Brady, they'll only lose to, a former the Dolphin coach, a former Patriot, Mike Vrabel, a former Patriot, but Anthony Lynn, Phil Rivers, no thanks. We just can't go there. I mean, they just. It's like they just have to bow them out. It's like, we're not losing to the Chiefs or the Ravens again when we just don't have the talent on the field. We'll just
mail it in.
We'll just mail it in. I mean, Tannehill did throw for 72 yards though, I guess. So
Minnesota, New Orleans, Minnesota 26-20 in overtime. Cousins, you like that? The Vikings D was tremendous. Cook had 130 total yards and 2 touches. The Saints have their first 2 turnover game of the entire year. Yeah. Believe it?
I have no idea. I was watching that game going, where's this Vikings team been? Like, I'm
healthy?
Like, that was unreal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think the Saints had 9 or 10 first downs.
They were doubling Michael Thomas with 2 safeties.
Yeah.
And somehow he
Lockdown.
It was crazy.
Every catch he
nothing
made had to be
sense
everything.
in that game.
Oh.
Nothing.
Nope.
Breeze looked awful. He just, he had a little bit of pressure, and he just was like,
yeah.
It's kind of amazing with this Saints team, actually. When they played the Niners a few weeks back, and
it was a video game. Yeah. That felt like Tecmo Bowl.
It just felt like the referees, though, just seemed like, the Niners guy were just mugging them the whole game, and they weren't calling any sort of flags on the Niner guys. And it's just like they had an agenda, it felt like, behind the scenes to keep the Saints in a certain area where they weren't going to get a bye or a first seed or whatever. And even in the Seattle game, where if Seattle had somehow won that game and gotten the win,
1 seed, yeah.
Saints would have, I think, because they beat Seattle, would have moved into the 1 seed.
Yeah.
So Kirk Cousins, you just got to give it to the guy. I mean, Berg probably knows. I mean, I played them, when he was on the Redskins, and then he just couldn't win a big game. I mean, he would, need one game at the end of the year, laying 9 at home to the Giants, and just couldn't figure it out. So, Cousins definitely managed the game well, and Thielen made some great catches down the stretch of that game.
No question. All right, I got 30 seconds. Fuck. Seattle, Philly, 17-9. Seattle wins. Clowney hits Wentz with a cheap shot. I mean, he was diving. It wasn't like he was trying to take him out, but he did.
It didn't feel like he dove at him when he was on the ground, but he dove at him in a way that could have ended the way it did. And I think that's the issue. It wasn't so much that, I don't know. It's kind of one of those borderline ones for me.
Yeah.
Should have got a penalty, definitely.
Should have got a penalty.
But I wouldn't have thrown him out or anything like that.
Yeah, he wasn't headhunting.
He wasn't trying to hurt the guy, I don't think. But it's just,
boring-ass game. Most watched game of the weekend, I guess the time slot, whatever.
Highest TV-rated thing since the Super Bowl.
Last year. Yeah, crazy. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that good of a game.
Russ.
Oh,
it's amazing what Seattle has done all year. I mean, historically, and I've been to that stadium about 4 or 5 times because I was a huge – I mean, you okay there, Mo?
I'm dying. I'm dying. I apologize.
He's talking about the Seahawks.
Yeah, immediately. Oh, no.
Seahawks joking there now. I was a huge Seahawk fan back in the day with Hasselbeck and Holmgren, actually, and went to that stadium numerous times. And what a home field they have. But they've been the road warriors all year, actually, 7-1, and then go back in a tough environment again and win a big game. I mean, who are these guys? I mean, we got Metcalf in town, obviously, but I mean, I didn't even know this guy was the wide receiver. I mean, and Lockett and some guys.
Great coach, great quarterback, goes a long ways. In the
Marshawn Lynch, off the schneid or whatever Berman says. I mean, where's he been for 5 years?
It's unbelievable. All right, let's get to this week's games. HB, welcome to the show, sir.
Well, thanks. I wish I had another set of headphones so I could hear Mo out there in the
Almost doing
podcast
this
land.
coughing and
He
laughing.
doesn't want to hear me. He doesn't want to hear my coughing.
There you go.
the residual from too much New Year's party.
No, it wasn't that.
Actual
Nah, maybe.
sickness.
Very possible. No, that's how I got sick. It's not like a hangover, but it was things that happened during that time of having fun.
Enough said.
Were there any homegirls involved?
Yeah, man, always. HB,
Okay.
you know the game.
Not just
You
in
know
your
the
mind,
kids.
in dreams. Okay, sorry.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere I look. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Happy New Year, sir.
You as well.
This is
All the best to everybody.
This is the last day. Statute of limitations for Happy New Year is today. It's the 7th. That's it. So just before we get into the NFL, Happy New Year.
Turn the page.
On to this weekend. Let's just go in, time order, rotation order. And that means we got to talk Minnesota, San Francisco first. And the line is pretty much 7. The total is 45. There's a 44.5. Man, all I got for this is that, prior to the game at the Saints, the Vikings were 5-0 to the over on the road. Since late September, Minnesota has averaged 30.8 points per game. They go and beat the Saints. The line was 7.5, 8. Obviously a little high. Back-to-back weeks they play San Francisco on the bye. The line's 7. Same line. Half point less. What's that tell you, Z-Man?
The line is actually it's an interesting game. I'm not even sure what the line suggests, but it's one of those games where they're trying to make you make a decision on what you saw last week and what you've seen all year. And the Niners have definitely looked shaky at home, against the Falcons as a big road favorite.
Late in the season, yep.
The Cardinals even, had them on the ropes.
Yep.
I mean, we're in that game as well. If anyone's following my Twitter account, obviously, I have the Niners winning it all. I can't honestly say I'd be backing them in this spot. It's a little uncomfortable. I think they'll manage to get through this game. I still don't believe in Cousins, even though it was a big win on the road. I just don't believe in Zimmer, and I just think the Niners throughout the year have weathered the storm, and I know Jimmy G can be that wild card. He is that link where he can turn the ball over to this Vikings team. I just can't believe that Cousins is going to go back-to-back and win this football game, and I would probably lean to the Niners if I had a gun in my head.
You?
I think the biggest difference with this game is that with the Saints, Sean Payton has, built this offense over like a decade, right? I mean, it is what it is. He works in wrinkles here and there, but we know what the Saints are going to do. The beauty of the Niners with that offense is Kyle Shanahan's always doing all kinds of different things. And I think this is a much tougher matchup for that Viking defense. I'm not going to tell you to lay 7, especially in a playoff game in this spot, because I think the Vikings have a quality team and they're well coached. But I think this is a much more challenging matchup from the offensive side of things. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Niners, win the game, cover. But I mean, the Vikings played really well last week, and maybe they're putting it together to play their best football. We'll see.
HB? Anything here?
Yes. I was listening to VSiN yesterday, and Brent Musburger, who has followed the league for a very long time and traveled around, said the short week is going to be a big impact, especially with an early game for Minnesota. Going back Sunday night, having to turn back around and go to San Francisco, he thinks that that's a big thing to overcome. I agree, and I was just looking at the Vikings' schedule and results throughout this season, and 9 of their 11 wins, including the Saints win, were against non-playoff teams. That's enough inconsistency for me to say that I'm comfortable laying it. I might even take it in the first half. I don't like it that it's 3.5. I would rather it be 3 flat, but I think it's going to be pretty convincing for the 49ers.
Nice. All right. I'm going to save it for Bankroll Manager. I'm going to take him down. Got to find one way or the other to take him down, because we all know what we got to see next week. It don't matter. Nobody cares. Everybody owes. Tennessee, Baltimore. Let's go. Are you kidding me? It came 10 early. Posted there's 10s, 9.5. It's 9. There's still a couple 9.5 floating out there.
We opened 9.
Yep. 47. Did you get anyone to lay 9?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we got people lay 9, people take 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got a little bit of a
I
different.
mean, we got the market bets too.
Right,
You know what I mean?
of course.
Because we were up pretty early, and
Right.
then they were, just, that's different. Take
That's
that.
exactly. That's
different.
what
Take that.
we put up 10.
Which I was happy with, because
Yes.
if we're at market, then we
You don't
did a
get no
good job
bets.
with our
Yeah,
number. So
right.
Yeah.
And we put up 10 and got the same thing. They took the 10 while you guys had 9, and then
Of
just find our way to 9, 9.5, whatever it works.
Yeah.
I'll go to you first, Alan. Too high, not enough.
First half will determine everything in this game, I think. I just expect if Baltimore comes out like touchdown opening drive, the Titans are going to get blown out. If they hang with them early, then it's going to be a very competitive game. But it's like, my dude Rex said that he thinks the Titans won their Super Bowl last week, and that's trouble for them this week. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I already got things going with the Ravens.
Yep.
The Ravinos.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm just chilling on this game.
What do you got, HB?
I was pointing to my heart because
Oh.
I know Alan's got that future.
Reynolds, tell him the signals, like when we're doing it.
Like
you
to move the
pointed to
player
yourself. No, you went like this. I thought you meant that was my turn.
Sorry.
That's all right. You got me.
We'll have to huddle up after hours. And
We got to
figure
work
out
on
all
these
the signals.
fucking stealing signs. Everybody's stealing signs. There's a report that the Red Sox were stealing signs. I messed up the sign. My fault. Go ahead.
They're probably right.
All true.
Mo, before
Whatever
we move
report
on,
that may be.
are you okay with this San Francisco line? Or are you okay? I forgot to even ask you.
No, I thought you did good. You did good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's going
you
the
were
Bears
right on
route
that,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just make
No,
sure
I'm
you're
definitely
okay.
not. I had a bunch to say, but I was like, I'm good. I'm not gonna say words. All right.
All right.
No,
We'll get you back in there. Anytime you want to jump in, let me know. What do you got, HB?
no, you're good.
I can't bet this game. And you said it all season. Bet against the Ravens at your peril. So 9 or 10 may look attractive, and it could be 44-7. But Vrabel's team got brave last week. They don't care about anything at this point, and they're not scared. But I would rather just sit back and watch.
Z-Man. This feels like a leather jacket crowd here. Play. There's got to be a leather jacket somewhere here.
Yeah, I've actually looked at this game pretty hard, and the Ravinos all year have been dominant, and Lamar Jackson is incredible. It's hard for me to believe that Mike Vrabel is going to shimmy into Baltimore and come out with the W. That being said, how can you back them if you don't believe they're going to win? This has the writings of a complete blowout potentially on this game. That's the way I would look at the game. I typically bet underdogs, not favorites, gun to my head, and not in the business of laying 9 and 10 points. That being said, I actually think the line should be higher. I mean, just based on those factors.
Sounds like a hard pass for most of us. Of all the games, this game, to me, has the feeling of the one that can get away from the dog. And like you said, if they get two scores down and remove Henry from running the ball and have to really rely on Tannehill making plays, then the party starts. They get a pick, they get another score. It's going to get ugly. As far as
he's about to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah,
Tannehill is about to be in a world of hurt. Yeah, that's all I know. I don't know who's going to win or who's going to cover. I just know Tannehill is going to be in a world of hurt. That's all I do know. Just off top.
Easy, simple, right there. Simple.
Yeah.
Since Tannehill took over, the Titans are 9-2 to the over. They've scored 20 points or more every game. The total's 47. It's coming down because the Titans run the ball. The Titans shorten the game. The game's going over. That's what I'm seeing right now. The Ravens get in the 30s, and that'll be enough to push the game.
Well, they
over.
also saw the creativity of Mike Vrabel doing the old fake punt or bleeding the clock down.
Well, now
I was wondering how many times you can actually do that. Can you just keep
2.
doing it?
we just,
Two,
you can do it
yeah,
too. Yeah,
you get a personal foul if
Yeah.
you do it a third time.
Well, I guess if they're
Well,
gonna fucking
they might
do it again,
try to do that.
they-
Maybe
they
why
take-
not?
Right, take penalties
Yeah,
and
and run.
shorten
I'd
the
rather
game.
get penalized all day and go back to the 1 yard line until we have to do something else. That's the Mike Vrabel coaching method.
It's a single.
Son of a
It's a
bitch.
Singletary move.
It's
Yeah.
Mike Singletary, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Singletary move.
Can't win with him, can't win without him. Houston and Kansas City. Houston is off beating Buffalo somehow. They're catching 9.5 now. Wow. Seems a bit healthy, but automatic lays early.
I'm coming right out the gate. The Chiefs are going to beat the fuck out of the Texans.
Woo!
They are going to crush this team.
Yep.
Like, it's going to be a party in the second quarter.
Wow.
AB.
Yeah. The Chiefs, man, like, everything is falling for the Chiefs. They got the bye.
It is.
They get Bill O'Brien. They got Andy Reid off a bye. The Texans shouldn't have even beat Buffalo at home. Like, this is, dude, I'm telling you, like,
Andy Reid
I don't
off
ever
a bye.
like really lay points. This is a game to just send it, dude.
18-3 overall, 5-2 with the Chiefs. Andy Reid off a bye is money in the bank.
First half and first quarter bets too. Just every which way.
I'm just saying, like, I think if you bet anything Chiefs, it's probably good. Like, it's just gonna win.
That's good.
Like, I don't know. That's just
Care to weigh in on
Win
that
it,
one?
bet Chiefs.
Moto Man
Limit
or
bet
the
everything.
Z Man? We gotta.
Let's go to Z-Man first.
I'll use one of your lines, Davo. I've seen Andy Reid's act before in the playoffs. This is one of my favorite games of the week, actually. I actually think the Texans are going to be, as much as it pains me, because I did say that the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl, I actually think they're very live to be very involved in this game on all levels. I think somehow, some way, though, the Chiefs come out the winner. But I think this line is too many points, in my estimation. I think the line should be a lot less. And I would feel pretty comfortable taking anything over 9 points as it is right now. I saw a 10 in town actually as well on the Texans. I know Andy Reid has been solid coming off a bye, but to me this is one of my favorite games of the week actually. And I'm a dog player.
Right.
It's hard for me to completely believe the Texans are going to win this game, but I think they're going to be very involved in this game. And if you're a Chief fan, you're going to really be our main man Nash.
Nash
He's
is going to be down to the
yeah,
wire.
you're going to be
biting
really
those fingernails.
biting, wanting to choke out Andy Reid before it's all said and done. I do think the Chiefs escape with the win, but it's going to be one of those type of games. Just a kind of a gut feel on this one.
Houston won 31-24 at Kansas City in Week 6. I think Kansas City wins the game. I don't know the points. It feels like it's inflated. Everything you said, AB, makes sense. This could be a run out. Everything you just said makes complete sense. I would be super shocked, really, to see Houston advance.
man. I hope Houston wins.
My
Oh
God.
that would be
right,
beautiful.
and then you get Baltimore, Houston, and you're super live in that situation. 10.
Smallest
You're
of hedges.
9.5. Your thought at all on this game? Anything?
No, not really. I think
No, it's hard.
maybe the possibility of a backdoor cover, but this game's going to be in the teens as far as the separation.
Right.
And maybe, he like he said, maybe they close it late for some odd reason. But, yeah.
Seattle, Green Bay. I mean, shit. Somebody got to win this game in advance. Somebody has to win this game. These teams have had black magic all year in the form of Aaron Rodgers, a witch, and Russell Wilson, an amazing quarterback who just continues to run for his life every play and make plays. He's perfected the pop-up slide, the hook slide. He never gets hit. It's unbelievable.
You know who he
It's
reminds me of?
Who?
Derek Jeter. He's just a winner and figures out ways to get it done. Like the Derek Jeter play to get Giambi, just
You just
pulling
see it.
shit out of a hat.
Yeah.
And he's just a winner, always positive. The team sucks.
Wow.
I mean, the hair is incredible, though. I swear to God. The NFL actually called down there and said, like, we need to, like, perm it out more, moose it up.
When he went over
the helmet's off. I think he wants to play quarterback without his helmet on. I mean, it's an incredible look, by the way.
When he went over to Doug Peterson, I mean, it was coaffed and nice. I mean, after a whole game.
At the end, yeah.
No, I was with a buddy, and he was saying, why is he putting the hat on? He was doing the interview with Boyer. He's like, why does he have the hat on? I don't understand. I'm sure he has the hair out for a reason. Which I understood. I was like, yeah, I get it.
I mean, Mo, man, we might have to get him involved if he comes out to Vegas with this hair cut place that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
If I see, oh shit, no man.
Yeah, I mean,
but if I see Russell Wilson, I'm gonna have to put him in a headlock for a lot of stuff, man.
Mess his hair up, give him a
Stand,
noogie.
man. Yep.
Seattle is 7-1, now 8-1, straight up on the road, which would be 7-2-1 against the spread. Green Bay at home 7-1, 5-3 against the spread. Wilson and Rodgers have matched up. Wilson's 4-3 against Green Bay, lost all three, never won at Lambeau. Rodgers is 5-4 against Seattle lifetime. And he's never won at Seattle. He won every game at home. The line is 4. The total is 46.5. How in the hell are they going to get to 46.5 is my first thought. But you raised your hand. What do you got?
That's what I thought, and that's one of my plays this week. I'm under. I mean, these teams, the last time either of them have scored more than 25 points was mid-November. I mean, down the stretch, neither of them could muster offense.
How is it
Even Rodgers.
46.5?
I couldn't believe that's what the total came.
Numbers wrong.
We opened 46. We had the lowest total, and we just watched everything drift towards us. I didn't get one single bet over.
I know.
One.
And
I
it's
still
going to
think it's
continue,
high. I still
right?
think it's high.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's going to continue down, right? I mean, and you guys, we're taping the show this week on Tuesday. Next week we'll be doing it on Monday. From the D, we're going to have Derek Stevens on. That's going to be a fun show. But we do it on Tuesday, and we watch the lines move. And it's hard to give out plays on Tuesday based on what you see and where things go. But I'm telling you, this line is 4. It's going to bounce between 3.5 and 4 all week. Agree? I don't think it's going. It's definitely not going back to 3.
It's definitely not crossing 4 to the favorite for sure. And I actually made the line Green Bay like 3 with juice, like 3 minus 20.
How is this not 3?
I mean, Seattle's they've been warriors all year on the road, and we watched that Green Bay Lions game. Matt Patricia, God bless you, you're in the league, but I mean, I don't know what they were thinking in that game. The Packers were on the ropes in that game, and it seems like offensively they're challenged even with Rodgers back there.
If Patricia was a wrestler, who would he be?
What a great question.
That's a great question.
Georgie Animal Steel?
Sergeant Slaughter.
Wow.
Big boss.
Those are some good ones.
Those are the big boss man type of guy.
A one-man gang, man. Maybe from world-class championship wrestling.
You got claps from Reynolds, baby.
I'm a huge world-class championship wrestling guy back in the day, too.
That's his stuff right there.
Gino Hernandez, Chris Adams, anyone who's listening to this. I mean, I know if you're in your 20s or 30s, you have
no idea.
No idea what I'm talking about.
What region was that?
I was in Texas. It was the Dallas Sportatorium. I'm trying to, Fritz Von Erich and
sort of a Metroplex thing.
Yeah, I mean the Von Erichs were huge. There were celebrities down there, and the Gino Hernandez could have been one of the greatest of all times. I mean, so
Try to explain to people how localized and regional it was, and they look at you strange.
Oh yeah, Seattle, Green Bay.
I mean, we opened at 3.5, and it took a little while to get a Packer bet. So I think that, most people think that this Seahawks team, I mean, like I said earlier, man, when you have a coach of the quality of Pete Carroll and you have a quarterback the quality of Russell Wilson, you're just going to win a lot of games in the NFL. I mean, that's the thing that most teams just don't have and they can't find, whether it's the coach or the quarterback. When you have both, it just puts you in every game. And Howard said it, they suck. They're not good. But they've done this before. They've won this. They've won it all. they're not afraid of anybody. They're all if they're in the game, like you're in big trouble. And I mean, the Niners saw that how close that came. Like, and it's like it's coming. Like the Niners, quality of talent on the Niners and their scheme and all that stuff, it all works way better. And then the Seahawks just keep hanging around, man.
And think of this, not to interrupt you, and you might want to shut your ears, Moto Man. Considering if the Vikings actually win this game, I mean, Seattle could be actually hosting the NFC Championship game in Seattle.
Yeah,
and
I'm already kicking
like
myself. I didn't go bet them to win the conference when the playoffs started. I loved it. I was just like, man, I need to go bet.
I think this is going to be. I mean, if you have a grasp of what side of the game, you might be completely on the right side of this game.
Packers have to get the lead. If they don't get the lead immediately, they play terrible when they're behind. They're not good. And
it happened
that's
in Detroit.
Right.
Can they stop the pass? Because I'm not a believer in Lynch in the running game.
But Wilson the crazy thing is, like, when you're watching that playoff game against the Eagles were stopping the pass, but they couldn't stop Wilson. Like, he makes plays with his legs, and then he finds a guy that is finally open because he broke off the route, or the coverage finally, softened up, and then he's just throwing these rainbows to Metcalf, and he's just jumping over everyone.
Or he runs for a first down, and you go back to the huddle on defense and go, motherfucker, somebody just spy on him.
Yeah.
And so then they spy on him, and he's breaking around, he's running, he looks like he's going to run for a first down, and everybody runs up, and he drops that little 12-yarder right to the tight end, or drops it into the Metcalf, and you're like, fuck, you can't cover him, you can't stop him from running, and you get frustrated, and he keeps moving the chains.
Yep.
It's brutal. It's fun to watch, especially if you have Seattle tickets.
He's just a cerebral winner. Like I said about Jeter.
So
It would annoy you every major league playoffs. The guy would just turn these double plays, and you're like, he's a twig.
He definitely has the intangibles of
I mean, it also helps that McCown played. We're giving a bunch of credit to the Seahawks, which is fine because I hate them. But I mean, the Eagles had nobody. Boston Scott, I think, was the best player besides maybe Miles Sanders, who dropped that pass. Like, that could have put them in the game. The Seahawks are getting lucky. Like, I feel like the Packers are going to crush them.
Nice.
I don't care what anybody thinks. The Seahawks, they got it. They've already had enough. I've already seen enough from the Seahawks.
We woke Mo up, baby. We got him up.
Man,
are you sitting upright?
I'm hearing too much. Oh, yeah. No, I'm hearing a lot. And I respect all of it. And I believe it because I've been watching it my whole life. But this doesn't seem right. Like, the Seahawks seem like a leather jacket crowd move, especially after what's been happening.
It's
like,
true.
I can't imagine them winning this game. If they do, and they play the Niners again, like, the Niners are done. There's no way they can win that game.
Talk about if the Niners.
This is a mini rant.
If the Niners win that game, I mean, the league can't lose with a Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers going into San Francisco or Seattle for a rematch.
Oh,
or
yeah,
Seattle.
that's right. Yeah, they can play it either way.
It's just a ratings juggernaut.
Which dog wins? This is where we're going to go with this to end this. Which dog wins the game? Because you're already seeing the favorite pile-up parlay. Just give me all four favorites. Divisional weekend is the home team's game. Which dog wins? And the obvious answer, I'll start it off. The obvious answer is Seattle. It's the lowest spread, and it's Russell Wilson. Seattle feels like it, but you're starting to, Minnesota could go and win on the road.
I think this is the year we're getting 1-2, 1-2.
Do you?
Yeah.
I actually agree with the Bergman on that one. And I think the Chiefs game is the game where that's the spread killer, but it's just life and death. And maybe the Texans somehow do pull it off, but it's not something I really want to see. I know, Berg, you've been on this Houston team for a while. I mean, but Bill O'Brien, but they do have A.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson and some pieces there. I mean, who knows?
Mo, does a dog win a game?
Oh, man. I don't know. Just Seahawks aren't winning. That's number one. If anyone had a chance, I think I'm not even kidding. I think Minnesota there might possibly be a shot. That's not even a knock against the Niners, but I think the game could be more competitive. It's going to be a little bit rainy. I don't know. I wouldn't count the Vikings out for some reason, but otherwise, yeah, 1-2 seems about right.
If it's
HB?
Vikings Packers, I'm just gonna want to go.
Not
jump
again.
off a
That's the
bridge.
only thing I
Oh,
don't
my
want.
God.
Wouldn't that
We
be horrible?
don't need that again. That's the one ratings.
I would agree.
thing.
Yeah.
Vikings,
Z-Man's
Packers.
just smiling. He's like, "Oh, they're running Rodgers again."
Man, and we got some.
I mean, unless you're a Viking fan or a Packer fan, I mean, no one. Forget Vegas. I mean, I can't imagine being in Maine or something
Z-Man.
watching this game. Vikings. I mean, you could say it's cold out there. Wow, I got two cold teams or Nordic teams, or wow, geez, I'm hungry. Let me.
there's
Guy blowing in the horn or whatever. The game would be in Green Bay, I guess. Cool.
and we got a lot of people listed in Minnesota. Don't take this shit personal, but we don't want to see that round 3. If we got to see a round 3, I want to see Seattle and San Francisco.
Sure.
I don't want to see round 3.
I want any mix other than that one. Like and that's not even like a Bears thing. It's just a football game. Like those games were not good. They were not entertaining. They were just awful football.
Exactly.
I remember that.
awful.
What was it? That Bears Packer game a few years ago.
Oh man.
I mean, the best part of that game was the guy doing the national anthem. That German guy or whatever with the aircrafts going over the stadium. Oh, it was incredible.
The German guy with the aircraft.
I mean, he did it phenomenal. Was it national anthem? Wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I remember that. I mean, but I didn't want to see Bears. I mean, unless you're a Bears fan or a Packer
Sure.
fan, it's just a division game. It's too.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Like
not
at least
good.
like the Niners and Seahawks division game has spice.
It
Like,
had,
there's a lot
It
going
has sizzle.
on there.
You got
yeah.
you got Sherman and Russell Wilt, and,
Yeah.
and Pete Carroll and the
history in the
and-
playoffs, yeah, all that stuff.
So, if it's 1-2, we got Baltimore at home against KC.
3.
Easy. It's. I mean, is it
3.
anything but 3? Mo, what do you think? Z-Man's thinking.
Oh man, no, I was actually caught up in I
You're
would
making
like
a play
to see
on a
Niners
college basketball
team.
game, aren't you?
No. I did all that at 8:30.
Before you go to sleep for 12 hours,
Hey,
you're
take
making
it-
all your plays.
Take it easy on our guy Dorn over there at CG. I mean, he's probably out there having a nice lunch or something. I mean, he's probably
Big Deli?
It's probably no one even there manning the terminals right now. I mean, our main guy at home is probably pulling his hair out, literally.
watching the screen.
Watching the stream. And your guys down there, downtown at the Cirque, are probably just laughing their asses off.
God.
Oh yeah, no, everyone's just having a ball.
Is it
Having a
3?
ball.
Is it? It's 3, right?
I'd probably put a 3 and a
3 and
hook
a
on
half?
it. I
Yeah.
mean, I think,
That's the only
especially
way
if the
it could
Ravens
go.
look,
Run
really,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Remember, KC beat them this year.
Yeah, that's gonna be bad. For
Yeah, that's
KC.
right. Yeah,
Yeah. They,
I like
know,
the
I'm
Chiefs.
terrified by the
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs are good.
yeah,
I like
they
the
can go in there and
Chiefs.
win again.
They better play some D.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably just a sick ove.
Seems like that's what they've gotten better at. I think defense is what's been kind of winning them all these games.
They've been great on
Down the
defense.
stretch.
Total
Yeah.
54.
They've been
Yeah,
great.
pretty
Oh
solid.
man, I don't know.
1-2 matchup in the NFC would be the return of Green Bay to San Francisco, where they got housed. That can't be 3.
No, that's a solid
Got to be more than a touchdown.
if Minnesota
More than a touchdown?
if Minnesota
No.
covers,
That's 6.
Yeah, like 5.5. I was gonna say probably.
yeah, I was gonna say 5 if Minnesota covers. If Minnesota doesn't cover, I think we're a lot closer to 7. But I'd say
Well,
6.
I guess
I'd
that
say
makes,
6. and a
yeah,
half.
I guess off the Vikings game.
Yeah, I mean, I want to
That makes
see because
sense,
this is
yeah.
a playoff game, so this is where I feel like teams that are of quality are going to show it. You know what I mean?
Right. Where you got 6?
On the Packers at
If it's Packers,
Niners.
yeah.
the mustache always gets some love, the Green Bay faithful and
No
whatnot.
doubt.
So I mean, even though they got blown out, I mean, we're one step away. So 5.5, you maybe
Okay.
go 6.
Yep. That's right around the number. What is it if it's round 3? San Francisco at home against Seattle.
3.5, same as the Packer line. At this
Really?
point, because I think
They were
you just
3.5, 4 in Seattle the last week of the season.
I guess it depends on the Viking game. If they blow them out, I think it's
It's
higher.
hard. It's not just an easy, I think, 3.5. Like
Man,
the first thought is that, but then you go, wait a second, they were just
Well, let me
in
ask you
Seattle.
this: as bookmakers, do you want to hang Seattle +5 in that game? with what you've seen the last 2 times they played?
I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want a Niner bet, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'll take reg limit 3.5 and start moving it. And if you want 4 and 4.5, cool. Get me to the number. But like, I'm not trying to fade Russell Wilson if they go on the road twice and win both games, and now they're coming back for a third game with what happened in Week 17. Like,
Mo, he's not just saying that because you're homesick. He's saying that with passion and meaning right now. You know,
I think
that.
the first time they met when they lost in OT, I think it was 5, right? 5.5. That's what the Niners were favored by.
Yeah,
sounds right.
Yeah, so I mean that sounds about right. I mean, historically, Rodgers has not done well against the 49ers. Like, I mean, not just this year, but years past in the playoffs. Like, for me, it would be hard not to aim higher in a game like that. You know, assuming the Vikings game or whatnot. But yeah, the Seahawks line. I mean, anything higher than 4.5 seems kind of ridiculous to me in a game like that.
Z-Man?
We're talking about Seattle at San Francisco.
Yeah. First thought.
Goodness, if they win this game, I mean, they've just been so good on the road, and oh goodness, like they might just throw a 3 out.
Wow.
I mean,
you think it really
you
could be
think
3?
They might. I think the Seattle story, if they win this game in Lambeau, I mean, it's just.
I mean,
people
like,
are.
That's the thing. Sorry, if we're putting that out, I mean, you know, you're thinking the same way I am.
Yeah.
Like, I want a Niner bet.
Right.
Like,
No doubt.
You know, and I probably wouldn't go that low, but I think 3.5.
3.5,
like,
4.
I feel like I'm getting the bet at 3.5 because the line should probably be 4.5.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. Like, get me to the number. Like, you know, bargain shop, go get it. But like, I don't want Wilson plus 4.5. Like, no way.
No, there's just no value at all in that, considering what the line
100%.
was in the last. I mean, like you said, the last game, the Niners really kind of dominated the early stages of that game
About
in Seattle.
38 minutes of it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
Then
here they
Russell
come.
Wilson.
You know,
Yep.
so it's just so hard to say, but.
Sometimes sports comes down to the best player on the field. I think that's what happened in the Buffalo and Houston game. Best player on the field made it happen. They won the game.
Can I ask you a more important question, Davo?
Please.
I'm getting a text from Eli. I swear, Eli and Nick they got the headset on in Chicago. They want me on tonight. Like, they're actually saying the Z-Man is selling the goods. We need him on our podcast. Or
Right.
I swear he's got a headset in Chicago.
We
or
had
something.
we had a talk. It's starting to happen. The boys.
I think he's
doing it on Fridays. You're not on Sundays, or
I'll probably be
just
back at some point. Yeah,
right. He's
I just been
busy, but I know. But we're
But
trying.
he's not
to,
on the payroll, like actually listening to this in Chicago, like just laughing
live,
his
but-
ass off.
not live, but he's listening.
Okay.
All right. That's I don't know. It's too early to do a Super Bowl pick again. I don't want to do that right now. But you guys have it, 1-2, 1-2, pretty much consensus. I'll save it for Bankroll Manager and tell you who I'm taking out. Because I'm going to probably take a dog in the game plus the points. We'll see how that goes. AB, I have a quick note before we jump to the coaching carousel and your thoughts there. I want to get an NBA discussion in because I have you here and Mo's not. 6 teams in the East: Milwaukee and Indiana, Miami, Boston, Toronto, Philadelphia. They all make the playoffs. That's 6. Who in the hell else in the East is going to make the playoffs?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter.
No, it's a first round bye for the top 2 seeds.
Isn't that what
Doesn't
The Rock
matter.
used to say? What do you think? It doesn't
Eh.
doesn't matter what you think. Yeah.
Exactly.
I say that a lot when I'm actually pulling into the headquarters in the morning.
It doesn't matter.
It's a tough drive. I mean, I swear one day I actually took a picture of the strip. It was like, it must have been like 5:30 in the morning. The sun was coming out. And I'm like, what am I, this parking lot? Wow, I should just get in the car. And
You've
drive
done
home.
the overnight shift, and now you do the opening shift. Mo does the overnight shift, and that's why he's in a fog half the time.
And,
but on
and
the
props
days
to the
off,
guys in the industry that actually work those late shifts. They
tough.
can be really brutal.
Man,
there's
it's
just
hard.
nothing going
Nobody
on at
understands.
all.
And then all
I mean,
of a
you
sudden,
gotta-
4 a.m.
understand.
comes the college basketball
Yep.
flying in.
You just gotta turn that, the
No,
country
the-
channel
yeah.
and turn on Roadhouse or one of these movies that they play like 3 times in a
No, like,
row. And
you
the
have to-
beauty
you
is
have
you
to
can just
turn it-
watch them back to back to back, the same movie 3 times. It never gets old.
Speaking of back-to-back, AB, real quick on the West in the NBA, the association. We got Lakers, Clippers, Denver,
AOC.
Utah, OKC. Looks like they're going to make the playoffs. I have them as in. Houston and Dallas. That would leave 7. 1 spot left. Care to take a shot at who you think is going to make the playoffs between San Antonio, Memphis, New Orleans, Portland, who's 15-22 and looks like poop, Minnesota, 14-21, who's a nightmare every day to book in injuries and all that shit.
Yeah, mess.
Phoenix, Sacramento, or Golden State. Did I name a playoff team? Which one did I name?
It's probably the Pelicans or the Grizzlies.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the Grizzlies a little bit.
I think Zion, if Zion comes back, I think he makes that team way better.
Wow.
And I think they can definitely close on the 8 seed.
They had footage of him this morning coming back because he's going to start 5-on-5 practices. He better take 30 pounds off. He looked like a blob.
Oh, he ain't going to last the whole season.
He looked like a blob.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big guy. But he's not healthy.
This isn't
like,
college where you can get away with that.
or you play twice a week. There's a lot of games. He got to keep. I mean, that first year for the guys making.
I thought it was
jump.
going to be a red shirt. Honestly, I didn't think he was coming back.
How
So
did
I was
he-
surprised
Why?
any of
He
it was
still
starting.
flies, though.
Yeah,
This guy flies, though.
He
Have you
does.
seen him fly?
that's
Like,
true.
it's unreal.
That is true.
He had plenty of po'
Guy
boys while he was
soared.
recovering.
Oh man. All right, that'll do it for the NBA talk. College basketball, we're still not fucking talking about it. You got anything college basketball, Z-Man?
As far as what, like just
Anything that you see going on? I mean, the standings change every fucking
yeah,
week.
it just
The
seems like you
ratings
get to
changes.
the number 1 seed, and then some unknown team just comes in and blows you out. And they're like
Yeah.
a 25-point dog.
Results don't matter.
No,
Not yet.
I mean,
Right? I mean, it's conference play, and I guess it's starting to matter. But I mean, Mo, you're looking at this shit every day. Have you come on anything or looked at anything where you think you want to, say this is good or this team is good for listeners that actually want us to talk about college basketball? And I appreciate the DMs that say, hey, it's college basketball season. You guys got to start talking about it. So this is it, Mo. You got 30 seconds.
I spent an hour and a half reading about Sun Belt college basketball.
Yes, you did.
You don't know that. You don't know that pain. But
I'm knowing the
I'm
pain
about to
right
put my-
now.
I'm about to put my stake in the Coastal Carolina, the Chants, going forward. This team's pretty solid. They have probably the best backcourt in the Sun Belt, in my opinion, from what I've read. So just take that with a grain of salt.
Okay.
We'll revisit it later.
Why
We'll
are you
revisit
giving
it
away
later.
trade secrets?
He's up reading all night when he's not watching it or the lines aren't moving. So
No one trusts me anyway. So even if it does go well, they'll be like, "Well, it seems okay. It was all right. That's pretty good."
It went well in spite of Mo.
oh, right.
Right. So either way, I win. I can't lose.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
exactly.
we got the college football game championship discussed. We got the pro football, all the games. We got a little NBA discussion there. We got some college basketball. Let's wrap this thing up with the coaching things. Well, first of all, is Brady playing next year? Yes or no? Is Brady playing as a Patriot? Yes or no? I'll start with you first.
Yeah, I still think Brady has potentially 2 or 3 years left in him, and I think he returns to New England, actually. That being said, if he does return to the Patriots, there's going to be quite a bit of a drop-off until they actually bring in some talented players. So we could actually witness the Patriots, if he stays with them next year, potentially missing out on the playoffs. Now, people have been looking for this angle for probably the last 20 years. So I'm not saying to bet against Brady in this spot. He's definitely going to need some talented upgrade based on what I saw in that Titans game. I mean, Derrick Henry looked,
That was
he looked like
Superman.
he
was
looked
by
like
plan.
Herschel. I was going to say Herschel Walker
Yeah,
out
Herschel
there.
Walker.
I mean, just
Someone compared him to John Riggins in the '80s.
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There's an
That's
80s guy.
There's an
80s
Earl
guy.
Campbell.
Right.
No,
Well, that was it was
name it.
70s,
Earl
right?
Campbell.
A little before my time.
That was all by plan, though. Like, Henry looked good, but how many points did they score? 14.
Yeah,
That's
14,
true,
that's
yeah.
it,
I think that was all part of the plan. The problem was that they couldn't complete passes at all. Guys can't get open. Guys are dropping passes,
Yeah, I
running
mean,
the wrong
when-
route.
when have you
so
ever-
I'll go to you, Brady, Patriot next year? Play next year? Yes. I think we're all in
Yes,
agreement.
he's
going
playing.
to play.
He's playing.
He's not retiring
He's not
on that
retiring.
note.
Not like
He's-
that.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
all
he's
right, we'll get
playing,
to
and
that.
he's playing for the Patriots. It's
So Mo
guaranteed.
is playing
That's
and
the-
playing for the Patriots.
That's a big favorite. I think he should think about a wonderful state that Rick's from in Florida and head down and be the new quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with
Wow.
Bruce Arians.
Oh,
Lots of
Are we
weapons.
worried about? Are we worried about what Belichick's going to do first? Like, are we assuming he's staying as well?
Belichick's
He's
staying. He
staying.
might coach till he dies.
He's going to
Like,
die on the sideline.
That guy's a
Total gym rat.
maniac. Plus, I think he wants to create
Do
a
it.
new legacy. So he'd probably be fine. I think he's still mad about the Garoppolo trade, to be honest.
He is pissed about
But-
that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, like-
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
believe that.
Jason Garrett is out there for you New England Patriots fans. So
Giants.
GG.
I
No,
guess-
they
JG
didn't
is out
hire-
there.
They hired the what was his name? The special teams
Rose.
coach.
Joe
for
Judge?
the- Joe Judge.
Judge,
Thank
Judge,
you.
yeah.
Joe
Okay.
Judge. Yeah, he
Joe
got
Judge.
the
Yeah,
job
the
today.
judge.
You're saying he's
Joe Judge
retiring.
Brown.
Be better.
I am.
be better for Zarin Judge.
That was good.
You
can
think
come
Aaron
back.
Judge is a better coach than Joe Judge?
I am taking an entirely contrarian view to every talking head, to you guys. I just see it in his face. I think he planned on retiring midway through the season. I think he's had it.
Wow.
He can't go out on a pick six. Oh, he can't go out with a losing. I think he's had it. His wife has wanted him to stop playing for the last 4 years. And I know to a lot of people that doesn't matter. I could just tell that he's had enough. And that's my prediction. Contrarian view to the entire world.
I could see it either way, actually, now that you said that. But I just see him as being that guy. Like, if I know it was myself, they'd have to rip that fucking uniform off me. If they're going to keep paying me and I get to keep playing, unless my body's broken down and I can't play anymore, I'm going to play. You're
about-
right, Z-Man. I mean, they got to get some help.
How about a mystery pick? Like he retires, goes away for a year, and then resurfaces and comes back.
Oh,
Takes a
shit.
year off.
It's a good
Wow.
point.
Just goes down there, with his wife and has.
Can we all agree he's not going to the Chargers?
Yes.
Yes.
There's like no
He's going to go
chance.
from Bill Belichick to Anthony Lynn.
It's not
Get out of
happening.
Here.
It's
Yeah.
not happening.
If
He's
he
not
goes
going
to
the
anywhere,
Chargers.
that's why I was like, Tampa almost feels like a fit. Tons of talent, warm weather,
Colts?
a coach.
I could see the
I
Colts.
thought the Colts too because of the offensive line. But man, as soon as T.Y. Hilton goes down, they're a disaster on offense.
I mean,
Yeah.
a complete,
The
complete
is,
heel turn would be to go to your
it's-
team, Davo. The
That's
Steelers.
taking my
yeah.
Andrew Luck take
I
out.
mean, you got Terry Bradshaw with the 12, and now you come back with
No,
Brady and Black.
Terry-
Terry
wild.
will hand it to
So-
him.
Yeah,
So
and you're wearing the black, the
yeah. Well, you know what's
Love it.
crazy is I was texting Mo. I think yesterday, right, Mo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Great stuff.
Dave's face.
Um,
When Z just brought that up, Dave's
We were
face
just
should have been
texting
on video.
yesterday? That was it?
Yeah, I think I was texting you about this, but I was saying Tua to the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's what we want.
Roethlisberger, one more year.
Oh, my
Tua
God.
right behind him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tua will love Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh
That's
will
the type of things
love
Pittsburgh
Tua.
does. They find the
Oh,
right
my
guy.
God.
I mean,
Oh, Steeler fans, let's hope and pray somehow that happens. My God. If you go from Roethlisberger to Tua,
if you think about it, like these franchises, this is what they do, right?
it is.
Bledsoe,
but my
Brady,
God, you're so lucky
Favre,
if you're able
Rodgers.
to do it. You're so
Like-
lucky if you're able to do
Yeah,
it.
but
And
these-
like,
the good franchises do this, though. That's my point.
I mean, was I the only one
The
laughing
Bears go
hysterically
from
during that?
97 quarterbacks in the time the Packers had 2. Like, it's just
Yeah.
comical. Jets, Browns. It's just a rotation.
I mean, was I the only one laughing hysterically during that Browns Steelers game when the guy whipped his helmet off? He hits him over the head on the other side. I mean, he could have been killed, thank
Yeah,
goodness.
right.
But I mean, it was like the foam part that.
yeah, he hit him with the phone part. He did. He caught him. Thank goodness he did.
I
But-
mean, it was the most ridiculous.
and we
thing
got the
I've ever
duck
seen.
after that. We got the duck.
I think
The duck.
when I was in the room, we were all sweating out Pitt, North Carolina in OT. And then one guy was like, dude, this guy's swinging helmets on the field in the Browns game. I was like, it can't be. And yeah, they showed the replay like 100 times. I was like, this
I
is
mean, can we
absurd.
all agree if the guy died on the field, they would have called there was no games that weekend.
Yeah,
We can all agree
That
on
would
that.
have been. Yeah, that would have been it.
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure. Yeah,
They would have went up to Dean Blandino.
Yeah, that would have. It would have. We got to review that one. All right. Let's sign this thing off. AB, any parting shots for any of the listeners on the way out?
I'm all on this Chiefs team.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think somehow they're gonna get it done. The
Okay.
guy that he can't beat's finally out of the way.
All right. HB, you got some scribbled notes there? Anything?
I do. Did you already have the Take a Minute segment?
Oh, you can take your minute right now if you'd like. Do you have something prepared?
I do. I have a Take a Minute and I have this, but I could do one. It's fine.
No. You got
Your time is precious.
no. It's all good. We're on the clock. 3, 2, 1. You can have a minute and a half if you can get both in. You're good.
They're unrelated.
We'll waive you. We'll waive you if you got to go. Ready? 3, glasses on. 2, 1.
We at Gaming Today hold an annual contest called the Bookies Battle, where we get bookmakers from around the country to make picks every game against the spread every week, and we give a $1,000 prize. And the winner was Jason Halpin from Aria, who went 146 and 110 for about 57, 58%. Now, this is hard because you have to have those picks turned in Tuesday morning, and we're going off of those lines. So great job. But this was an interesting breakdown because we now have a playoff edition for an additional $500. We take the top 10 from the bookie battle, and we put them in a playoff competition. But the only strip property was Jason's, was Aria. We had 2 New Jersey properties, which were Borgata and PointsBet USA, and the PointsBet USA contestant is the CEO of the company, Johnny Aiken. So that was fun. 1 property in Mississippi, the Scarlet Pearl, which is a DraftKings book. But believe it or not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 local Vegas casinos made it to the final 10. Boulder Station, Fiesta Rancho, Joker's Wild, Rampart, South Point, and the Wildfire Boulder. So the local casinos really showed some prowess in their handicapping this year, and it was a lot of fun. 2 out of the 3 hosts of this show, their companies don't participate, and we would like to change that next year.
Okay.
Well, actually, one's becoming another company, so footnote.
There
Shout
you
out
go.
to Boulder Station.
There it is. And the barbershop out at Boulder Station. Mo, chime in, parting shot for anyone listening, and any thoughts on this weekend games that we missed?
Well, first, Z-Man, Patrick told me to tell you what's up. I should have told you that earlier during the show. I didn't do that. Also, I wanted to, I sent Alan that the picture of Territory during that Raiders-Cowboys game.
I saw it. I actually I had to get away from the seat and the microphone. I was laughing so hysterically. And you say
We sent it to it. Patrick Cockham.
Oh, okay. Over there at one of our Caesars properties, is it? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him I said hi. I like Patrick. He's a good guy.
Oh, yes, my God.
We can do that
That's my
shit
guy,
off the air, boys. What the fuck are you talking about? He's passing out highs on the air. Just send him a text. We all got each other's fucking number. What the fuck is that? Mo, you're on some good medication, aren't you? Do you have a bankroll manager pick? Do you want to give out a bankroll manager pick either on the NCAA championship game or the playoff game?
If anyone's listening to this right now, Missouri State plays Illinois State. I'm hoping the total's not below 126.5. I really don't care what it is, but it's not going to go over. So if anyone wants to play any game right now, it's probably going to be Missouri State, Illinois State under. That's all I know.
That's the Tuesday special right there. If you jump on and listen, you're on KC. You're giving
165.
165 minus the 9.5. Yep. Current number. Z-Man, parting shot on the way out, and you get a theoretical dime to play with on the bankroll manager. You can divvy it up any way you want. Leave some for your next appearance. Send it all, ship it, whatever you like to do. Where you at?
It's a dollar amount as far as the 1,000.
The 1,000, you can divvy it up any way you want.
So basically, I can use a couple hundred of that, and then next time I have the remaining balance.
Yeah.
I'll put 330 on the Texans plus the points.
Okay.
This week against Kansas City.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a very competitive game. It's hard for me to believe that the Texans are going to win this game. I just think Andy Reid and company will be under extreme pressure, even though it's off a bye week. Just seeing this time and time again with this coach, and I think somehow they'll win the game, though.
Okay. There you go. So you'll take 10 because there's a 10, and you'll lay 9.5 in the game. So that way we're shopping best lines and taking best prices, which is what you're supposed to do when you're wagering money. So that's the message for everybody. Would you like a bankroll manager play on the way out, or just follow along in the gaming today for the Bearish Bangers?
Follow along for
Okay.
the weekend for winners for myself and Richie Saber.
Gotcha.
See those. I'm 4-0 the last 2 weeks.
Is it always at the top of page 3?
No,
Okay.
usually about page 18 or 20
Okay.
within.
But it's always at the top there.
It is. It's in a yellow block
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Alan edits it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't get the paper, a Digital Gaming Today subscription is only $6.95 a month normally, but the holiday special is $5 per month. That is actually running until the Super Bowl, correct?
Correct.
You get award-winning content, analysis, stats, picks, casino industry news, and more. A Dawn Best feed with real-time lines and scores from 6 Vegas sportsbooks, links to casino deals and sportsbook app signups. You even get the Gaming Today newspaper in digital form. Just go to gamingtoday.com/register. Get that taken care of. My bankroll manager play, which everyone's waiting for because it's a loser, is Minnesota +7. I want to see San Francisco play fucking Seattle as much as anyone else. So I'm going to personally take down the Vikings. +7 is not going to get there. The other games, it definitely feels like chalk in the AFC. What do you got?
How much? You reset. You're at 0 now.
Oh, let's
Or you're
go.
at 1,000 technically.
Let's go 220.
Okay.
Let's go 220.
That's the old guest satisfaction for those who follow.
Absolutely,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Customer satisfaction, is it? I'll have to look into the email.
Hey, Mo, I got to see what time my bank closes. I got to go get more money to bet on San Francisco.
That's it. All right. For the boys, I did that one for you, Mo. We got to keep this thing alive for another week. All of us on Twitter, Z-Man, thank you for being here, brother. It was excellent stuff.
Thank you for having me, Davo. It's great seeing Alan. I mean, it's been, it feels like it's been like a couple of years. It's probably been 10 years.
It's
It's been a long time.
What do you like in the Royal Rumble?
I haven't been watching the wrestling, to be honest with you.
I knew that, dude.
Yeah, I
knew
mean,
that.
I might I'm tuning in some world-class championship wrestling tonight, probably instead. I'm sure, or an Eric Bischoff, 83 weeks, maybe.
There you go. The show is at GT Cash Consider on Twitter. It's a big part of what we do, a big follow. Please pass it along, retweet stuff. Everything you guys can do. The show is growing. It's getting more exposure. We appreciate it. Go on where you get podcasts and share the show, rate the show, review the show. Just push the 5-star button. It's quick, it's easy, and it helps. It bumps us up in the ratings. More people find the show, and things continue to happen. For Alan Berg, he is at %Berg on Twitter. Mo, feel better, brother. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
All right. He is
You guys
at
are
Heed
great,
These
man.
Takes. He is at Heed These Takes on Twitter. Howard, sitting in the chair at Gaming Today News on Twitter. That's HB. Reynolds, doing his thing as always. I am Reynolds 2305 on Twitter. And again, I am the Sportsbook Consigliere, which is at SportsBKConsig. That will do it. Happy New Year for the last time of 2020. Next week.